just a couple announcements. We have the Melissa Pellegrin Scholarship. The deadline for application is November 6th, and this is available to students and part-time undergraduate and graduate students with at least a 3 PA, a 3.0 GPA. So we're going to post a link to that in the chat. Also, there is the STC. There's a scholarship available through the STC as well. And we'll be posting the link to that. And there are some eligibility requirements as well. And we're also going to be posting some information about STC honor societies. One is available to undergraduate and graduate students. One is available to
I did not.
Sorry?
Amy, did you say something?
Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. So sorry.
Oh, you're good. The other is available to students in 2-year programs. And there's a few benefits, but I think that easily the greatest benefit is if you are admitted, invited into either of these honor societies, you get 1 free year of membership in the STC, which is awesome. And you're going to learn more about the STC in this meeting. So that is that. And we're going to post the links to all those in the chat here so you can access those.
Yep, I've posted each of the link, as James was talking about. And if anything, we'll post them on our Discord too. We have channels for announcements of scholarships, so you can find all those there. Or you can always just email us. I'll put our FTC email here in the chat as well. There we go. For any questions you might have, or if you want to reach out about opportunities, there you go. Yeah, that's about it for announcements. So, did anybody have any quick questions about any of the things we just mentioned? All right, and sorry, it's a lot having to juggle people joining and leaving. But anyways, so today we're going to be talking about the FTC STC mentoring program. We have some guest speakers with us here today, some people who have been in the mentoring program before, and also some people who have been just engaged in the process of matching and pairing mentees. We're going to be talking about that as well, including what it means to be a member of STC, which is a requirement to be in the program, what STC is, really everything you need to know about the mentoring experience and how to apply. But mentoring, first off, just to give a briefing on it, is just when you can receive information from a professional, like being under their wing. And that's something that the mentoring program wants to offer to tech communicators, a program where you can be under a professional tech communicator and therefore receive advice, tips from them, career help, with really anything that you might need. And Bethany is going to go more in depth, but that's a high level overview of what we want to offer when you apply to the program, being able to just be under a professional's wing and just grow as a tech writer, and especially be able to see what's out there in the industry, what things can you learn in the industry that you might not be able to learn while you're here in school. Just being able to be with someone with that high level of experience is something exclusive that we hope to offer and hope really helps out anyone who applies. So, yeah, if you want to move on to more details, Bethany.
Sure, I put together some slides, so give me a second to share my screen. Okay, can you all see a slide that says Society for Technical Communication Student Membership?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, great. So I just kind of want to give you all some further information about what it means to be a student member of STC and be part of the mentoring program. Just for a little background on myself, for those who don't know me, my name is Bethany Agwad. If you mispronounce it and say Bethany Agod, I will accept that. It sounds very grand. It happens often. So I'm currently the mentoring coordinator with John for the Florida chapter. And before that, I know JD well because I got my BA and MA at UCF in TechCom. And I was an FTC president, I think also a vice president, a treasurer, a secretary throughout various years. So FTC has always been near and dear to my heart. And I really started in my career first with the degree and then joining STC and FTC and then stepping up and joining the mentoring program. So I've kind of been on this journey since 2011. And it's definitely something that's shaped not just my career, but who I am as a person, as a leader, and as a technical communicator. So I currently work as a technical documentation specialist at a company called Sagent Lending Technologies. It's work I enjoy. It's not very glamorous, and I won't go into the details of what it means to publish documentation for a loan servicing application because it's just so exciting that like it's completely overwhelming, and I don't want to like distract from my message here. But I definitely look forward to sharing a little more details with you. I've been a mentor for the program since 2016. Alexandra is one of my past mentees, and I'm currently working with John. So I've just been excited to work with people and see them start their careers and see that continue. If you were on earlier, JD asked me about my current role in STC, where I serve on the board of directors. So that's for the International Society. So currently working as the board liaison to the education committee. So working on educational programming for the society and just generally making strategic decisions, which in 2020 has been a bit more challenging than we would have expected, but I love a challenge and look forward to getting to learn more, throughout my career. Also, I talk fast, so apologies if I run through things quickly. So for those who are unfamiliar with STC, that stands for the Society for Technical Communication. It is the association for people who are in the field of technical communication. So it's a global organization. For instance, one of the other board members joins all of our calls from Australia, where she works. And we really have members of all ages, starting with students, which is when I first joined, through professionals to people who have retired. And it goes, spans from people who are working as academics, in the field doing research, or people who are practitioners, and pretty much any part of the industry, since TechCom is such a broad field. For instance, right now, I don't really do a lot of writing in my job. I'm primarily doing project management and editing, but it's still within the field of TechCom, which I think is one of the exciting things about your opportunities to grow within our profession. And just to give a little bit on terminology, the society has geographic chapters. So when I talk about the Florida chapter, that is our geographic chapter. So that's your local folks. We originally were Orlando and then Orlando Central Florida, and now we represent all of Florida. So when you join STC, we hope you would join the Florida chapter with people like me, where we have, sorry, you can't see it. I've got this sweet shirt. We give active member shirts for people who are engaged with us. So there's other folks here who have been in the chapter who I'm sure can speak to their individual experience, but just kind of wanted to clarify a little bit about how that works. So about the Florida chapter, we were established in 1977, as I said, for Central Florida and then beyond. We've always worked closely with UCF, with professors like JD and before him, Dan Jones. So as I think you could see probably on the call for some of these faces who have graduated from the UCF program and gone on to be part of STC and, work together in the field. We have joked that for a while we were trying to take over Lockheed Martin because we had so many of our former graduates who were part of STC there. But I think now it's shifted to JHT, which you'll hear more about later, where we have 6, 7 people who all graduated in the past year or so who are working together. So we get together for monthly educational meetings and networking. But generally, we're just an organization of people who like to get together and talk about technical communication, learn more, help each other get jobs. Like that's one of my favorite things. I know several other people here enjoy that immensely as well. So we're happy to get people connected with opportunities. So I want to go a little bit into the benefits of student membership. So currently student membership is $75 for the year. So if you paid now, it would cover your 2021 membership. So through the end of next December. I think there was a mention of the Sigma Tau Chi Honor Society and the STC Scholarship. If you are an STC student member, you're eligible to apply for both of those, which are good resume building items. But also the STC Scholarship comes with a financial benefit. I did want to clarify, you don't have to be an STC student member to apply for the Melissa Pellegrin Memorial Scholarship. It doesn't hurt, but it's not a requirement for that one, just because I know sometimes there's some confusion about that. It's a scholarship that the Florida chapter has sponsored with the university. There's a lot of other opportunities beyond like volunteering with the local Florida chapter on projects. You can work on things that are global initiatives, like things I've worked on with the board. John is currently working, I think, on one committee for the society and like a task force on solving different problems with like how to address membership needs of different generations. So if you look forward to chances to apply your problem solving skills and connect with people who are located all over the globe, it's a great volunteer network to join. There's also a job bank and a lot of educational resources. And if you're a student member, you get a discount on those. So I know when I was a student, I did the tech editing certificate course because I knew I wanted to really specialize in technical editing. There's also an annual salary database the society provides, which was really helpful for me when I first graduated because it provided specific breakdowns on what is the range for salaries in my field where I live, and is really useful for negotiating salary because when you're first graduated, it can be really hard to know how much salary to ask for when you're applying for a job and they say, what salary are you asking for? And you don't want to just pull a number out of thin air. So this gives you data you can actually reference on what the ranges are. There's also publications, Technical Communication, which is the more scholarly journal of research, and Intercom, which has more practitioner-based articles. So there's just a lot of information that you get access to on stc.org. For the Florida chapter, so if you join the society, you as a student would get a free chapter, a geographic chapter. We would hope you would choose us. And we are currently doing free chapter meetings for all of 2021 for our student members. If you join, you get to join our monthly educational meetings for free. And we usually do a variety of topics. And the next one will be podcasting for November. Very excited about that. It's also a requirement, like John mentioned, for the mentoring program. So since our mentors put in their time and energy to working with students, we ask that you join our chapter to be, part of that program. We also have additional leadership development opportunities, and we do provide local job listings if you're looking for jobs in the greater Florida area. And it's just a great way to network with technical communicators across the state. So I think in the past, we were more focused locally on Central Florida, but especially with the changing nature of our workforce, with so many people working online, it's really important to be able to connect with people who can help you get a job. I have to say, in my time in the field, I, for a while, switched jobs every 2 years due to either positions being eliminated or things just not being a good fit. And it really helped to be able to reach out to people I knew at different companies and say, well, are you hiring? What sort of opportunities do you know about? If there's nothing at your company, do you know someone else? And I do that for other people now in my role. So there's a lot of just willingness to help each other, find those opportunities in our careers. Just a high level on the benefits of the mentoring program. I know John has already mentioned some of these, but I know when I was a student, I joined the mentoring program because JD told me to. He's, I don't know if you remember this, but he collared me in the corner of a classroom, not literally, but figuratively, and said, you need to make some connections outside of this, academic bubble. And
I don't remember that, but it sounds like something I would do.
I think you've done it multiple times. That was my personal experience. And I'm so glad you did.
But see, I didn't think that I would have to ask you to do it because you would be someone who would just want to do it.
I know. I didn't know what I was missing out on. So when I first joined STC and joined the mentoring program, it helped me develop a network of people who I knew who were working at different companies and different industries, and to get that career guidance and job search advice. So not just finding a job, but finding a job that would be a good fit for me and my particular interests, which I knew at the time I was happy to do some writing, but overall I wanted to shift into more of an editing direction. So it was really helpful to get insight into what it meant to be a technical editor. I also learned there were some particular facets of TechCom that weren't a good fit for me. My first mentor, Dan Voss, was a proposal writer, and he loved it because it was fast-paced, action-packed, high-stress work. And I learned very quickly that was not a good fit for me. I prefer things to just, move a little more slowly. So there's a lot you can learn from just seeing what someone else has experienced. It also helps you polish your resume and your portfolio, because I know as a student, often it's a question of, well, I have all these samples of things I've created in my classes. How do I put this together as something I want to present for a job? What would be the most useful? Do I need to develop new work samples? So having experience with someone who's actually done hiring or been involved in the hiring process can really help you, give you insights into what's the best way to present yourself. And just to increase your visibility in the field, because when you're a student, if you're not engaged beyond the university, no matter how active you are in FTC or, in your program, no one knows you. And something that's interesting about TechCom, despite it being a broad field, it's not surprising how often people know each other, you know, especially the longer you're there. So and so worked with this person and they worked with that person, or they're connected through this. So it's all about having a sort of an entry into the world of TechCom and what it is to know other people. So it gives you that access. So I did kind of want to explain some things about joining STC and FTC. I know we have this meeting today to talk about interest in the program. So the first thing you would do if you want to join is to submit your application. And we have those open for the next 2 weeks till October 23rd. We do require that if you're accepted for the program, you do sign up for STC membership. But I did want to clarify that we've always done our best to provide a mentor for every mentee. We do, based on the application, a process of matching based on interests and expertise to try to find someone who's going to be a good fit for each person. If for some reason we had difficulty finding someone for you, we wouldn't want you to feel like you have somehow committed 100% and now you've signed up for a membership you don't want. I think the membership is good regardless, but we were thinking that it would make more sense if you submit your application and we'll let you know once we are going to be introducing you to your mentor. And at that point, we would ask you to sign up for the membership. As you sign up for your STC membership, you have the option, as I mentioned before, to select a geographic community. Please select us, not just because that gives a little financial benefit for our chapter, but also that means we can see you in our records as a member. So we can make sure you get free access to our chapter meetings and everything like that. I know the FTC Discord has been wonderful. I'm very impressed by how active you guys are and all the great conversations you're having. The Greater Society does have a Slack. So if you're looking to ask questions or get information about things in the field from a broader audience, I highly recommend you join that. It's completely free. You don't even have to be a member to be part of that Slack, but it's a good resource. And we're currently in the process of building up a Florida chapter Slack. So for people who are local who want to have questions about working in the field or projects, opportunities, anything like that. So I included links to both of those. And I know John and James will share links to the slides and all links. And if you have signed up and you're going to be part of the mentoring program, we definitely would encourage you to attend our next chapter meeting. As I mentioned, we do those educational programs. The next one is October 22nd. Since the application period is still open, that meeting is free for all students. Please, everyone, join. I and my good friend Nick Ducharme will be talking about podcast as a TechCom tool for the digital age, since we have been podcasting for a few years. And after that, as I mentioned, you'll get free access to all of our chapter meetings through the end of 2021. And I put that last reminder on there that the scholarship application is open through December 31st. So I know that's a lot to take in. That's why it's all on the slides and can be linked to later. And I'm happy to answer questions after everybody else chats. So thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Bethany. That's very informative. It's awesome. Professor Applin, did you want to talk a little bit about the mentorship program as well?
Everything Bethany said was what I was going to say. I'll try to put it from my perspective. When I came to UCF, I didn't know what it was to be a professor. There's always this tacit body of knowledge that you can only learn by doing. You can't learn it at a university, and I hate to say that because, you know, I work, but there's many ways we try to replicate, like in, you know, you guys have all taken Tech Doc 1 and Tech Doc 2, or ENC 4293 and 4294. We try to replicate a work environment where people, you know, build a large document together. But we can't do that, you know, and we don't know what's going on at Lockheed. I only know what people at Lockheed tell me. I have a sense for it. And that's why the mentorship program in FTC and STC is so important, because there are people who've been working in the field. Now we have new people that 2 years ago were students. When I look at Alexandra and Winfield and Amy have taken on leadership roles, they know the score. They know what's going on, how to get a job, who to connect to, and those extra things that none of your professors can teach you, because we teach TechCom, but we don't do it in the field. So that is why you would need a mentor. They'll tell you things that we can't. another thing that, and again, I'm repeating much of what Bethany said. Let me see, how can I say it? I just, it's good to network. And I used to think, oh, networking is just so corny. You know, you get together. Why not just be a really good student and get high GPA and do all that? Well, that's of course important. It's always important to learn something. It's important to be a good writer and to like writing and know how to write in different genres. But networking is key, and FTC will help you in that regard. Again, that's something that we, the staff at UCF, cannot really help you with. We stay connected with our students, and I hear from you guys what's going on via LinkedIn and these meetings, but FTC and the mentoring program will afford you so much more than what we can offer in terms of the courses you take. So I endorse you being in the mentorship program. I know it sounds like it costs a little money, but I think in the long run, if you look at that long distance between now and the end of your lives, when you'll be having to work, you'll want to be a tech writer. It's a rewarding field. You can stay employed in it. Bethany has moved around and always moved up or moved sideways and found other opportunities. And she's networked a lot. And oftentimes, like Bethany was saying, a job doesn't work out well. There's someone in FTC or STC who will tell you about a new job. And, you know, they'll already know you. That will help a heck of a lot in getting a leg up on all the other people who apply for a job. And again, that's something professors, I hate to say it because they think they can do everything. They can't do. A professor can write maybe a letter of recommendation for you for your first jobs, your entry-level jobs, or support an internship. But after that, you know, we can't help you. So I would just say, give it a shot. I wouldn't sponsor this club. I keep sponsoring this club because there's a lot of goofy stuff at UCF, a lot of goofy clubs at UCF. And you've heard me talk about this before, the bowling club and stuff like that. You know, that's not going to matter in 20 years. This will matter. Doing this now matters. This is a club that matters. Okay, this will pay dividends. And, you know, so many people, when I looked at my LinkedIn page, you know, so many of them were students that I've had that have been in STC, and then they've done the mentoring program, and some haven't. But they networked. They knew about STC. They got into the field, and they still connect. And a lot of the people got their first entry-level jobs by being in STC. Also, if you join STC for a year via FTC as a student member, it costs a lot less dough than being a regular member. And that's, again, and sounds like, this isn't cheap stuff. You'll have a line on your resume. It'll show that you're actually in a professional organization as a student. And that looks really good on a resume. When you come out of college, you have a one-page resume. Look what everyone else has. They majored in tech com or something else. They have a GPA. You know, if you belong to a fraternity or sorority, well, that's fine. That's not going to help you get a job, believe me. Having a line that said you were a member of the student tech community of STC as a student, that helps. That's what employers are looking for. That's real stuff. That matters. That's substance. And that's why I keep doing this club or sponsoring it, because again, it matters. It's a real club. It's not like so many other things in SGA that are just about the next dance-a-thon or something like that. You know, whatever they do. You know, football game. Oh, wow, important. Okay, you know. So anyway, that's my thing.
Awesome. Thank you, Professor. Yeah, I've found it to be a great experience as well. So, well, I'm going to talk later. Amy, if you would like to talk about your experience, take it away.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Amy, and I was a secretary for FTC, and then I went on to become the president of FTC. I immediately joined the mentor program because my main goal was to get a job. And I told everyone who had ears attached to their head that I wanted a job. And they told me the best way to get it, or the easiest way or quickest way or the fastest way, was to get involved in FTC and the mentor program. And that obviously really appealed to me because I was on my second degree and I wanted to be done with school and be employed. So I joined the mentor program and I got involved with the leadership in the club, which, you know, helps on your resume. It looks good to anyone who is breathing, I think. So I got paired with David. I don't know if he's still doing it, but David, based on my interest, which I wanted to learn how to code and I wanted to have someone that was very experienced in the field, because I was really nervous about the interview process. I'm like chatty Cathy here, but when I'm in front of like someone that is holding like a job over my head, I like start sweating a lot. So David was very helpful because everything that I wanted to learn, David was able to teach me. And that's based on the interest that you put on your paper when you fill out your application. That's how they match you with someone who would benefit you the most. And we hit it off. Like everyone that I've met through STC and FTC has been the nicest, most giving and friendly person. Like you being a member in FTC and in STC, even if you've never said one word to, let's say like Dan or whatever, just besides hi, you can literally go up to them, send them an email that says, hi, I am David's mentee. I heard that you're doing proposal writing. I actually have a side interest in proposal writing. Would you mind exchanging some emails with me, give me some information? And that's the beautiful thing about it. Like what everyone is saying is the networking part. You enter into like a huge, like a tight-knit community. Sorry, it's not actually, TechCom is kind of in Florida, very, very small, I think, and everyone does know each other. So it's super helpful that you just taking this step to do this one thing can open up a bunch of potential doors for you. So it's definitely worth it. I got my job through being in this club. So the person who got me my job, her name is Misty. She was, I think, the education chair at the time. I'm not really sure, but I had never spoken to Misty in my life. But she had sent out an email that said that her job was having a job fair. And so quickly I like applied. I was still in school, but I applied and I got her number from, I think Bethany gave me her number, and I texted her and told her a little bit about myself and what I was looking for to see if I was going to be a good fit for her company. At that time, I was willing to be a good fit for any company. Like I just wanted a job. And we had like a good like back and forth in the text messaging and developed a good relationship, just like casual stuff, just like, hi, how are you? And stuff like that. And what ended up happening was Bethany was speaking into the ears of the hiring managers, saying good things about me, good things about Sean and Winfield, because we all applied together. And that really helped us. By the time we walked into that room, they already had an idea of who we were. And she was saying things like we were like the star students in like UCF. We were like, you know, up and coming, like great writers and things like that. And how we were like really good students and really good kids because we were involved in clubs and things. So it really helps to be in this club. I am a complete testament to the benefit of being in the mentor program because you can get a job and you can be involved in a really great community of people who will always help you. If any of you guys need a job, you just send me an email. I will do my best to get you a job or get you in touch with someone or give you tips and tricks or walk you through like what it's like, you know, as a fresh graduate on their first tech writing job and all the scary things that come with it. You know, not knowing acronyms when you get to a company or how to start conversations with strangers and your coworkers just to make your work environment a lot nicer. So because I have benefited from this club, I now want to give back in any way that I can. That's why I'm here. And that's my story. Oh, one other thing. I said this last time when I was president. It starts with you guys. STC and FTC will help you the best they can, but it really takes you taking the step to join the mentorship program, doing the work, putting in the time, putting in the commitment to your mentor, and really wanting this for yourself first, and doing the whatever it takes along the way. And listen to your mentors, listen to the people around you, and really trying to find the word. I'm sorry. It lost me. All in all, do the work, start with yourself first. And the best thing you can do is get involved with this club, make connections with people, be nice to your classmates, and really want it and go forth like 100%, because you will get rewarded. And that's it.
Thank you, Amy.
No problem.
Yeah, a big part of this, just being here is a big step in, in trying to take advantage of the FTC and STC and potentially the mentorship program. So kudos on you guys for being here in the first place, and hopefully you keep coming.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Let's see, Winfield, would you like to talk for a few minutes?
Sure, please. I'm gonna try to follow up, I guess, with the same amount of energy, but I don't think I have it in me. But I'll do my best. No one can follow up Amy, but I'll come up second. It's fine with me. I guess I was trying to sort of distill some really personalized coaching that I have over the course of my mentorship. And all of the conversations I had, my mentor was Dan Voss, whom I guess the people at FTC thought was just as eccentric as I am, or vice versa. But anyway, we were a fantastic fit. He had a lot of energy as well. But I guess kind of trying to think about the time that I spent with Dan, with emails and phone calls, I kind of thought of my mentorship as kind of like a bridge between being a student and then becoming a professional. And I don't know if I had access in another way, maybe, to my classes or my class experiences with kind of making that bridge over. And I think my work with Dan as my mentor really, I think, did that for me. He did sort of the things that you would think about, resume critiquing and kind of adding a lot of insight and kind of trying to pluck everything possible from all of my experiences, and doing coaching as far as, really having somebody who actually was a hiring manager practice interview with me, which is great just to kind of have. I mean, how many people have that kind of thing going on for them where you have access to a former hiring manager from Lockheed Martin? You kind of look over and kind of show his perspective and his insights in terms of what he would look at. I think also Bethany was talking about sort of portfolio and how I may or may not have done as well with putting one of those together, because I think I'd heard about it, and how just crucial it was to have this other item where I'm not walking in there with, maybe a little thing with maybe a resume or something, where I have like this unnecessarily enormous leather-bound tome, like I'm a judge walking in, where I kind of have this thing that has everything that I've worked on, visually speaking. So then, I'm not going in it alone. I kind of have this kind of safety blanket around my arm, kind of like Linus from Peanuts or something, this blanket over his shoulder kind of thing, which you kind of feel like a little bit like when you're walking in, coming from the perspective of the student, where you kind of want something there for you. So you can kind of bring up examples of things that you did, and then unzip and say, oh, hey, wait, here it is. Here it is. So you can back up what you're saying. And then obviously to fill it up, a big part of my portfolio was my memo to members articles that I did, where I have that physical version. So I have myself attached to a professional organization like STC. So I have my name attached to a great professional organization that, students who didn't take advantage of mentoring program or FTC or STC wouldn't have. So you're just kind of building up, I think, with all these items, kind of building that bridge with your mentorship, with your practice, with your portfolio, and you sort of accumulate all these kind of elements that sort of take you from your role as a student to your role as a professional. And then all of a sudden, obviously, we have a pretty interesting situation at JHT where, you know, Amy and Sean Menard and I are all working at the same company. We were, you know, applying together and giving each other advice. So it's also great to see with our connections at FTC kind of where we kind of came from not that long ago. So kind of all these experiences, I guess, kind of sum up some of the many things that I got to experience as a mentor. And I'm really glad I took advantage of it. Yeah, so that was my experience.
Thank you, Winfield. Alexandra, did you want to speak?
Sure, but I'm not sure how much is left to say. I think Amy and Winfield have said most of it. But I attended UCF, like I'm sure everyone here has. So I joined FTC. And that's where I started. I think I joined because one of my professors, it might have been Dr. Applin, it might have been Glasshoff. I don't remember exactly who it was, but I remember one of the two of you told us that it was happening in the room right after our class was. So Emily and I just decided to stay. And we ended up never leaving. And then from there, we joined STC as students, and then we joined the mentorship program. And I ended up working with Bethany as her mentor or as her mentee. And I joined the mentorship program basically because I only minored in tech writing, so I didn't have a lot of experience with it. My major was writing and rhetoric, so I was mostly focused on just the writing aspect. I didn't have any technical experience, so I wanted to learn more about what it would be like as a job, because at that point I knew that I wanted to do tech writing as a career, even though I was only minoring in it, but I didn't really know what I was going to be getting myself into. So I joined tech writing and the mentorship program because I wanted someone who did know what all that was. And Bethany was incredibly helpful. She was able to show me all of the different stuff that she worked on. Like she showed me what Madcap Flare is, which is just a program that she uses. And even though I don't use it at where I work, if I ever come across it, I'll be able to say that I know what it is and I know the basics of it. And I don't know that there's much more to say. I didn't end up getting my job through FTC or STC, unfortunately. But I do think that what I learned from them and from Bethany as I mentor definitely helped prepare me for the interview and for the job itself, to present myself as the best candidate for that position, because I got the job with absolutely no experience in technical writing. I had never worked as a tech writer. I just had my resume full of classes from UCF, and that was it. That's all they went off of. But I think they took the chance because SDC helped prepare me for that. If I didn't have that or the mentorship, I'm not sure it would have, I don't know if I would have gotten a job, or if I would have gotten that job at least. So, very short, but that's pretty much my story.
Thank you, Alexandra. My experience has been much more short-lived than you guys. I'm still a student. I'll be graduating in December. But it's been a similar experience being part of the FTC and STC. I actually had a great experience with a joint FTC STC event. This, I guess in the spring. Was it in the spring? I think it was in the spring. Anyway, we hosted several different speakers, two of which were tech communicators at Universal Creative, which is Universal Studios equivalent to Imagineers. And I was co-host, co-MC at that event. And through the networking of that event, I was able to land an internship at Universal Creative as a technical writing intern. And I was one of, well, because of the pandemic, I was one of 6 that actually ended up keeping our internships. So just through being a part of FTC and STC and taking that extra step and becoming, being involved, I was able to have an excellent educational experience and professional experience. It looks amazing on the resume, in addition to just being a part of the group in general. So yeah, it's been great. As far as the mentoring program, I was one of 2 mentees for W.C. Weiss, member of the STC, who I think has been a member of the STC for, I think, 24 years, something like that. I was looking at his LinkedIn. He worked at Lockheed Martin for something over 45 years. He worked at one company for longer than I've been alive. And you can learn so much from people who have had those experiences. WC has so much wisdom and insights to impart about the profession and about different aspects of it that you can't get through just your education, and it's extremely important that you do as well as you can, try and get the best grades you possibly can. But in order to kind of segue into the professional life, these groups are, in my experience, and the experience of Winfield and Alexandra and Amy, it's very important and very helpful. So we're gonna have a brief Q&A. Well, I guess it doesn't have to necessarily be that brief. We're gonna have a Q&A time. Before we do, just in case I forget, I just wanted to extend my profound thanks to you, Professor Applin, Bethany, Amy, Winfield, and Alexandra, for coming out and talking today. Really, really appreciated. It's really nice of you guys. So thank you. Yeah. So any questions that you guys have? You can type them if you want. You can sing them out. Whatever you want to do.
I'm fine with anybody singing it out. Just have a jam session.
Maybe from Rebecca or Hannah or Nancy or Benjamin, that these are people who have come to the meeting to hear, and they're the ones who might join.
Maybe we gave all the information. There's no room for questions. I mean,
Perfect documentation.
You are welcome to reach out to us later. I think John has the mentoring email address where you can reach out to John and I as the program coordinators if you have program questions. For the other folks on the call, I mean, I think most of you would be willing to share your email addresses if people have follow-up questions for you on your experience.
Yeah. Should we just type it in the box?
Yeah, the box.
Okay. See down here, Rebecca has a question, I think so.
What opportunities do you recommend for those graduating in less than a year? Okay. By opportunities, are you meaning like everything or something specific? If I can ask a follow-up question, like jobs or internships or scholarships or just the whole thing. Sorry, I put you on the spot.
I'm finding out in teaching Zoom that a lot of people don't have mics that are operative. So maybe we'll hear something back from Rebecca.
Everything that was linked above. Oh, okay. So for like the scholarships and like honor societies and that sort of thing. Okay, gotcha. All right. Sorry about that. So if you're saying like what other opportunities there are, I know there are other scholarships that are available through STC, through other communities and that sort of thing. If you send me your email, I'll put my email in the chat. I'm happy to send you a list if that would interest you. If you're looking for resume building or volunteer opportunities, there's plenty of those, even locally, if you're looking to build resume and portfolio items. I know some of the things like scholarships, like you mentioned, you have to be a student longer, like for Melissa Pellegrin, for people who are graduating now. But there are definitely chances to build your experience even beyond that as you're sort of transitioning from, being a student to being in the professional field. So I guess I'd say, feel free to shoot me an email and I'll put together whatever it is you're looking for, a list of opportunities. I like doing that. Hopefully that helps you. Okay, cool. Like Amy said, we like helping people. We like helping each other.
Definitely. If any one of you guys have a question, you can just send me an email and I'll be glad to Zoom you or respond back.
I can testify, like back Amy up when she said that STC is just, and FTC, just a great group of people. Like I know for me, in my case, um, when just being an STC student member, everybody is just so helpful and friendly. Like you could ask them anything, like Amy said, they're happy to reach out to you. Like I felt like even though I was just joining for the first time, it's like everybody was happy to be like, oh, here's the way I can help you, or here's what I do, here's my email, and it was just a like a snowball effect where I dipped my toe in for the first meeting, like, okay, I'll go to one STC meeting. Then I'm like, wait, I like these people. But of course, like everything came together where it's like the community's great, it's helpful, the resources, it all just comes together to just make you such join you into a welcoming community and help you be a great tech communicator with all the opportunities you come across. Bethany mentioned it earlier too. Like over time, I just got involved as a student member and then started volunteering more recently with FTC, this in two of their committees, and it's really just things that'll help you on your resume too, and the members will be happy to help you with that. I would say a mentor is the great first step to that because well, going to a meeting is great, and you can definitely get all that experience there. Um, when you have a mentor that you can talk to anytime, that you can get advice from, um, it's something invaluable. Like you can, over the course of a year, there's so much you can learn from a professional. Just getting to know them and having them tell everything to you. Um, so, to sum it up, FDC Florida is great. The people are great, and like everybody putting their email in here right now and talking, they're always happy to help out. So, or even just to chat, I'm sure. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm also on your Discord server on any of the STC channels, so feel free to ping me there if there's anything you want to know about the mentoring program. I'm tend to be online, so any of those channels are good. And I also put notices in there when there's scholarship opportunities, jobs, stuff like that I hear about through STC that are possibly a good fit for students. So try to keep you guys informed there as well. So yeah, we're here. Did we have any other questions in the chat?
Oh, Rebecca was saying that we've been very helpful, and she'd love to formally introduce yourself, but there's a lot of background noise. Oh, that's totally fine, and we appreciate it too.
Okay, so,
Good to have you for the meeting.
so nothing from Nancy or Hannah, I guess. You guys have any?
Not yet.
I
Benjamin
was
did say.
wondering,
Oh, go ahead.
Nancy?
John, you mentioned volunteer opportunities. Could you elaborate on that a bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a story and a half, but the gist of it is after just becoming an active member in STC, I found out that there were different committees to be involved in, actually, that reached out to me. And I know that Bethany was pulling some strings in the back, like she did with Amy, just being like, Amy, Winfield, John, Alexandria, just being like, oh, John has been active. I'm not sure exactly what she said, but I'm sure she was putting in some recommendations there. And eventually, uh, two committees reached out to me. One called the Community Affairs Committee, which deals with just talking to the different chapters in FTC, getting information out to them, helping them with how they function, and so on. Another one that deals with membership, like getting new members. So pretty much they reached out saying that, oh, you've been really active in STC, you have a lot of things that you've been doing, and we'd like your perspective as a student to help out with us. So I think that's just a good example of how being active in STC, like pretty much putting that initiative, people reach out to you because they see that, especially as a student, the fact that you're putting yourself out there, things will just come up. But also there's, outside of that, just things you can look for. You can always ask around. Like I said, everybody always has something that they're willing or happy to share in their own field. So it can either come like that, or you can just ask for opportunities, and I'm sure there's going to be someone who's like, oh yeah, you can help out with this, or we'd love to have you do this, for example, or write something, or be part of our team. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah, if I can add in, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for like those long-term commitments to something where you're working on an initiative like John is, there's definitely chances like that. If you were looking for something more finite, like I want to get some more experience writing and editing, we have a local newsletter for the Florida chapter that anyone can submit articles for, and you work through the editing process with our communications chair, Julia. And that's just a more discrete task if you're looking for something that would be short-term. And beyond that, if you're looking to develop your leadership skills, we're always looking for people who want to be involved in chapter leadership, whether that's being a committee chair or involved, like I started with the mentoring program as a program coordinator, so did John, but we have communications, we have people who are doing membership, recognition. So there's always a space to grow whatever you're interested in. Or if you're just thinking, I would like to volunteer more because I want some more experience in resume items, we're happy to let you know what all is available, in Florida or beyond that. I'm pretty connected in STC. And I'd like to clarify, I did not say John should be on the committees. People reached out to me to ask if I thought John would be a good fit for those committees because he did a wonderful presentation that was at the society level, which he did with Dan Voss, the famed Dan, who has been mentioned several times by other people. And it was, it was a great presentation. People were like, that John, he's really got something. I wonder if he'd be a good fit for my committee. And I was like, he would. You should definitely reach out to John. So John's too modest to say that, so I get to say it about him. I think for me, when I was first starting out, I didn't really know exactly who I wanted to be as a technical communicator. Like, do I just want to quietly work? Do I want to develop my leadership skills? And being an STC gave me a chance to explore that and see what I liked, what I didn't like, what I was good at, and, just beyond the classroom. So whatever you're looking for, we'll help you find.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I add something I just thought of?
Yeah.
So when I first started at JHT, where I am now, I was talking to my boss, just kind of like asking silly questions like, why did you hire me? I know why he hired me. But he was saying, one thing that stood out was that he said he had a few employees that had just left their company because they moved or whatever reason, but they were involved in STC and FTC or one or the other. And they made a really good impression on that company. And so they were more inclined to hire people that were affiliated with that organization. So when our resumes came in and they saw STC and FTC on our resumes, ours were pretty much moved to the top. And then of course that added to the fact that Misty was whispering in their ear, telling them great things about us and how we were great students. And I feel like it secured our positions there, and we just had to show up for the job for interviews to solidify it. So just being involved in a club shows that you're willing to do something outside of just studying for tests and doing your homework and things like that. And if you're involved in both clubs or if you're involved in leadership roles, it looks really good in your resume. And it, personally, of course, it's good for your development. But if you're trying to get a job, they are really impressed by things like being the president or secretary, any kind of position that's in this club, or they're very impressed by you just being involved in the community in any way, because it just shows that you're willing to take that extra step to do more and not just, go in, do work, collect a check and go home. If that's how you are, that's fine. But just you guys being here right now shows that you're more than that. And it's going to get noticed by the people who are in the hiring positions. So if that didn't sell you.
I guess it's like saying, just that one line in your resume says, this person's all in.
Yeah, it shows that you care.
Yes.
Yeah, just being in FTC or STC, that's like one line on a resume can lead to a whole conversation in an interview, especially if you're doing leadership or a program like mentoring in either one. So it can expand in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I'll add, when I, was in FTC as a student, we used to joke that FTC was the friends we made along the way. And a lot of us are still friends. Like you see people who still work together, who are still connected, who are, building real relationships. It's not just a tenuous networking where you're like, okay, it's just someone I can go to help me with something. These are people you get to know and care about, and vice versa. So that's why I think that community piece is so real and important.
Yeah, and the community is definitely a good part of that. Because then sometime down the line, you never know if you meet someone you make a good relationship with, and you're looking for a job or volunteer opportunity, and you're like, oh, I know a person, or they reach out to you, or the other way around. And even just having people you know in the industry, that's a plus, because then you can just it's always good to have that feeling. Even just people to joke around with, you might become great friends or just do fun activities. Spoiler for the STC meeting that's coming up. They're going to talk about podcasting. Sometimes STC Florida has a little Dungeons and Dragons thing going on.
Oh, yeah. Some of us do play Dungeons and Dragons together sometimes, if that is an area of interest for you. We are a bunch of nerds. I will say that I think playing Dungeons and Dragons does help you hone your communication skills, especially technically now that we play online. We actually had an article about that in our newsletter that Julia wrote. But yeah, we're a bunch of nerds who like to just, hang out, play games and stuff like that, which I see you guys do on Discord too. So yeah, I think we're fun people, in addition to helping each other get jobs.
I
It's
just
definitely very
remembered
fun.
something.
Yeah.
So my boss, because you mentioned Julia, and it just triggered.
Mhm.
When she submitted her resume, my boss actually asked me if I knew her, and I didn't really know her. I just knew her. I was like, I met her once during like a FTC meeting, but yeah. So he went to me because he said she is a UCF grad. She's in that club that you were in. Do you know anything about her? And I was just like, I don't know her, but I know her mentor, and she sounds great. And I think we've played like 1 or 2 D&D games at that time. So I just
Yep.
told him about her communication styles and stuff. And now she's working on my team. So yet another success story from having, like, I didn't really know her, you guys. I just knew that she was in the club, and I wanted to help her get a job. And now she's here and she's successful at it. She's doing great.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you never really know who you're gonna be working with, because I don't think I had much interaction with Misty, I guess, as far as FTC, but I definitely spent many hours in class with both Misty and Julia. So network even when you're in class, or just be nice or social, because there's no way I could have predicted that.
Yeah, your paths will cross again when you least expect it. That's why we're all nice people, not just because it's a Machiavellian strategy to get jobs, but well, no, it's good to get along with everyone.
It's a good
You're right.
podcast.
We're all just plotting. Like, yes, make friends, get jobs, ditch everyone.
Well, yeah. So the presentation on the 22nd on podcasting, Nick Ducharme and I are presenting for that because we have been doing a Dungeons and Dragons podcast together for 4 years, and going to share like what that experience is like, what we've learned, how it's helped us as technical communicators. And Nick and I met through FTC, I guess 8 years ago now, something like that. It's been a long time, but we work together in FTC and STC, and we still, do a podcast together now. So I'm not saying if you join STC that you will do a podcast, but if you want to, I'm happy to help you.
Do you have a podcast on podcasts yet, or?
Well, that's what we were actually talking about. Someone was saying, well, if we're going to do this presentation on podcasting, should we do a podcast on that? And I'm like, oh no, it's getting too meta. So any other questions? Okay.
Thanks for putting this together, guys, and inviting me in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Thanks
great job,
again
James
for,
and John.
Did we already talk about the format of mentorship, how their meetings will go and how often they meet with their mentors?
Didn't really go deep into it, especially because it's always been flexible and defined by each mentor-mentee pair. And, in the past, we've had a lot of people who meet face-to-face, but it's going to be a fully virtual year this year. So, but it's a good thing to bring up, Amy. So I can clarify that when you are assigned a mentor based on that application you fill out, where we try to do our best to match up your areas of desired knowledge with their expertise, and you get introduced to them, it'll be a virtual kickoff. Normally we would get together and eat food, and I'm very sorry we can't do that this year. But instead we'll probably do a Zoom call, and then you get to know your mentor, and you guys sit down and make an agreement where you write down, here's the things we want to achieve this year. You know, here's our specific objectives, here's our more long-term goals, here's how we're going to communicate, and just define all of that so you have your year mapped out. You know, so you have regular communication, and you get things done, and you're able to achieve the things you're looking for in mentoring. So yeah, it's all, you know, defined by what's going to be the right fit for you and your mentor.
Yeah, and they're very excited to meet you guys whenever you do get paired or signed up.
Yeah.
Don't be intimidated just because they're these experienced tech writers. They are people just like you and I, and they really want to help you. They really do want to be there for you and help you in whatever way that you need help with. So you can meet as often as you want or as little as you want. And I had a really good relationship with my mentor where if I made the commitment to go and something came up, I could text him, say like I had an emergency, and he would completely understand, and we would just reschedule. So don't feel like you're 100% bound to something. Obviously, you respect each other's time and commitment, but we understand that emergencies happen and life happens, and they are people just like you and I, like I said, they understand when things come up. So don't ever feel trapped or pressured or anything just because you signed up and did all of this stuff. They are completely understanding, and they want to be there for you in any way.
Yes, I can confirm all of our mentors are human beings. As far as I know.
Always good to check. You never know. But I did just post the links that we were discussing throughout the meeting into the Zoom chat. So we have Bethany's presentation talking about STC student membership, the actual application to the mentoring program, and then just some info about the program on STC's website if you want to read some more. And again, at the end, the link to the mentorship email at FTC if you have any questions about the program or want to reach out to us. Bethany and I will be coordinating the applications and so on, and we'll be happy to answer any questions about it. And well, thank you, Dr. Applin, for putting that together as well. Additional emails if you want to reach out to anybody who spoke tonight, because like we said, we're always happy to just help you out with anything, talk about anything, and I'm sure you can just reach out to any of them about their experiences as well.
Yeah. And just so you know, I just got an email from Jane Vaughn, who's an instructor on our program, and she sent me this message. JD, I'm working on assessment, and there's a bunch of students who want to know about FTC. So I'm sending you, one of us, Nancy Lopez, who's here today. But so do you guys see these other emails here?
Yes.
So could you put those on the FTC email list?
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
Maybe we can send them this video.
Yeah.
That would be great. We'll work on getting this video up pretty soon then.
I'll forward the email. I just wanted you to see this. I see Nancy's on there, so.
Okay, perfect.
Nancy Lopez, but okay.
And last thing, I'm going to put our
I'm
Discord.
going to forward this to James and John. And that's another thing. Sorry to interrupt, guys.
No, totally fine. There's a lot of info to go around, I'm sure. So we'll be putting those out. You can reach out to us by email. They'll be posted in our Discord once we get everything together. Yeah, you can always reach out to us. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything.
Amy's run out of words. And so have I.
It's gonna be the same thing.
You should do it.
Be nice. Do it. Be nice to each other and do it.
Yeah.
Let's run the meeting a second time.
For example, I would definitely agree. I definitely consider the mentorship as sort of like another class. It's not officially so, but I definitely thought, the thing to take as one of your last semesters, your last couple semesters, if not earlier. So I would, in terms of taking it seriously, but also making sure that you take it as if it was mandatory, I think.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
What's the
Yeah, definitely take it serious.
yeah? What is the next FTC event that you guys have?
Next FTC event is 2 weeks from now. We always have bi-weekly meetings, or bi-weekly is a weird word. I was frustrated at it the other day because I'm like, I can never say it. It's meetings every other week. So 23rd, topic is still being decided, but that's when our next general body meeting is going to be. And we're also planning to have a game night. The authors have been talking together about having a Halloween game night. Might play some Jackbox, some Among Us, stuff like that. We're always open to suggestions too. Anybody's welcome. So that's what we've got going on.
Phasmophobia. That's pretty scary.
I just started watching videos of that, and it's either very scary or very silly, depending on what's happening at that moment.
Depends on your group, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about that game. I guess I got to try it out then.
It's pretty fun.
Nice.
There you go. You have a games channel on Discord, right?
Oh, yes, we do.
People should start pitching games.
I like that idea. Just start putting games in there. We can gather some together. Especially spooky games. Like, that one sounds good.
Yeah, for those who played Among Us, I've played the hide and seek mode, which was surprisingly scary. I've never been so afraid of my friends. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. So,
Yeah. Thank you for having us. Thanks for
okay.
letting us talk.
Thank
Hope
you
all
so
have a
much
great
for having me.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
You guys
Thanks so
have a
much,
good night.
everybody.
Take care,
Thank
everyone.
you for having me as well.
Yeah. Good to see faces again.
Yeah, it's good to have all you guys here. To see all of you again.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Nice to see you all.